Bonjour, voici vidéo 3F sur les pronoms relatifs. Les pronoms relatifs sont qui et que. In English, a relative pronoun is that or who, sometimes which, and those words are used to combine complex sentences. For example, in French, I might say, j'ai des amis qui parlent français. I have some friends who speak French. Or I might say, j'aime le chocolat que tu as acheté. I like the chocolate that you bought. Qui and que in these sentences are functioning as relative pronouns. They're linking two different sentences together, and they're functioning grammatically. Qui as the subject of the second sentence, and que as the object of the second sentence. So that might sound confusing, but really it's very simple when you look at what's happening in the sentence, especially in the second part of the sentence. So let's go over some exercises and some examples first that will help you understand that. Please read in your book this section very carefully. It's got some good examples and some good explanations that will help you understand. So when we use qui replaces the person or thing that serves as the subject of the second sentence. Let's look at our example here. J'ai des amis qui parlent français. What I'm really saying is I have friends and they speak French. In the second part of this sentence, they speak French. They is what's being replaced by qui. I have some friends who speak French. Qui is functioning as the subject of the second part of this sentence. It's called a clause, the second clause of this sentence. By contrast, que functions as the subject. What I'm really saying is, I like chocolate. You bought the chocolate. In this case, you bought the chocolate. We won't worry too much about the partitive here, but the chocolate is the direct object, so we use que for the direct object. We have a subject and a verb in this second part of the clause, so we use que to denote that we've replaced the object. In this, we do not have a subject in the second part of the phrase. We use qui to denote that we're talking about, or we have replaced a subject. So I think as you do the exercises, this will become very clear what we're talking about. Let's look at exercice O, à la page 38. Let me turn there too. And we're going to decide whether the sentence should contain qui or que. These are sentences that, again, have two distinct phrases. So we're going to look at the grammatical function of the second phrase. Do we need an object or do we need a subject in the second phrase? And that'll determine whether we use qui or que. Let me write this as a reminder up here. Qui is the subject of the second phrase, replaces the subject of the second phrase, and que replaces the direct object of the second phrase. Okay? So, numéro 1. Voici le stylo blanc tu cherches. Here's the pen that you're looking for. So we need to decide what's going on in the second part of this phrase. Well, we have tu cherches, a subject and a verb. And what are we looking for? We're looking for the pen. The pen is the direct object of the second phrase. Therefore, we need que. Voici le stylo que tu cherches. Here is the pen that I'm looking for. Numéro 2. Marie préfère la robe blanche qui est en soie. Marie prefers the robe that is made out of silk. Let's look at the second part of that phrase. Est en soie is, in English we would say, is made out of silk. Do we have a subject in the second part of the phrase? No, we just have a verb, a, and then our fabric, en soie. We're missing the subject, therefore we need a subject in the second clause. We will use qui in this case. Marie préfère la robe qui est en soie. She prefers the dress that is made out of silk. So in English we say that for this one, and we say that for that one. But in French, the function, the grammatical function, is determining which one we use, because both of these mean that in English. It can also mean who or which. Numéro 3. Ma sœur aime le sac blanc je porte. My sister likes the bag that I am carrying. Look at the second part of the phrase. I have a subject, je, I have a verb, porte. I'm talking about the object. What am I carrying? The sac. Therefore, I've got to use que. Ma sœur aime le sac, que je porte. She likes the bag that I'm carrying. Numéro 4. Nous allons habiter une maison blanche et au bord de la mer. We are going to live in a house that is next to the sea. Second part of the phrase, we have a subject, a verb, but no subject. Therefore, we're going to need a subject. Nous allons habiter une maison qui est au bord de la mer. We are going to live in a house that is next to the sea. Numéro 5. Les chats sont des animaux domestiques blancs, j'aime bien. Cats are pets that I like. Second part of the phrase there, I have a subject, j'aime, je. I have a verb, aime. What do I like? The cats. Therefore, this is a direct object, and I'm going to need que. Les chats sont des animaux domestiques que j'aime bien. Cats are pets that I like. Is that becoming a little bit clearer how we look for the missing part of the phrase in the second clause? Let's go on to number 6. Il y a une vendeuse dans ce magasin blank parle l'anglais. There's a sales lady in the store that, or who, speaks English. Second phrase, missing a subject, we want qui. Il y a une vendeuse dans ce magasin qui parle l'anglais. There's a sales lady in the store who speaks or that speaks English. Numéro 7. Ma grand-mère porte un pendentif blanc et très vieux. My grandmother wears a necklace or a pendant that is very old. We're missing the subject from the second part of that phrase, so we need que. I'm sorry, qui. I don't know why I said que. I'm a little tired. Ma grand-mère porte un pendentif qui est très vieux. We need a subject. He is the subject of that second phrase. Numéro 8. L'examen blanc nous allons passer est très important. The exam that we are going to take is very important. Second part of that phrase, nous allons passer. We got a subject, we got a verb. It means that we're looking at an object. L'examen que nous allons passer est très important. The exam that we are going to take is very important. Numéro 9. Le livre blanc tu cherches est sur l'étagère blanc et dans ma chambre. Alright, let's look at the first section. This is a much more complex sentence because you've got several different phrases. Let's look at the first blank. Le livre blanc tu cherches. We have a subject and a verb in this second part here. So we need que to be our object, right? Le livre que tu cherches est sur l'étagère. Let's look at the last part of this phrase. We have est dans ma chambre. Verb, no subject, so we're going to use qui for the second part. Le livre que tu cherches est sur l'étagère qui est dans ma chambre. The book that you are looking for is on the shelf that is in my... Okay, last one, I'm going to write it over here. J'aime le verset, blank, nous apprenons. Le verset is the verse of the Bible. I like the verse that we are learning. Alright, we've got a subject and a verb in the second part of the sentence. So we need an object. Well, actually, we have the object here. We just need to fill it in. Que. J'aime le verset que nous apprenons. I like the verse that we are learning. Alright, you'll get a lot more practice in the activity manual on these. If these are confusing to you, email me, and we will also talk about them on Monday. Remember, qui replaces the subject in the second part of the phrase. Que is the direct object in the second part of the phrase. Qui in a verb, que and the subject in a verb. And that's all you need to know for these. Alright, that ends video segment 3F. Au revoir.